Knuckle boxing rules bout takes place in the minus 77 kilogram welterweight division. This bout will be contested over 5 2-minute rounds. Your referee in charge when the action gets underway, Alexander Zodic. Introducing to you firstly in the blue corner, age 31 years old and standing at 180 centimeters tall. Tonight he's making his bare knuckle boxing debut. He's representing MPBJJ and Nova União Manaus. From Brazil, it's Alexandre Leclerc Ribeiro. And on the other side of the cage, fighting out of the red corner, he's aged 34 years old and standing at 170 centimeters tall. His bare knuckle boxing record so far a perfect one with 4 fights, 4 wins. He's representing Fight Company Belgrade. From Montenegro, it's Vaso Psycho Bakojevic. Fighters to the center, please, for your final instructions.
Fighters, you know the rules. Listen to my command all the time. When I say stop, you stop. Touch fist, go to...
Total unknown quantity in BKB is Ribeiro.
Right, well, expect anything and everything tonight. Bakojevic is a real showman. He knows his stuff when it comes to BKB. He's a trickster. He really is a barrel of monkeys. Gets straight in and starts laying the heavy hands on. Ribeiro needs to cover up. This is not a Muay Thai bite. He hasn't got the time there to get warmed up. Bakojevic, so confident, goes downstairs, comes downstairs. He's such a trickster, a real barrel of monkeys.
Lots of different looks here from Bakojevic. He's got to move that head. And it's totally different because you can throw the punches low with these lack of gloves. You can drop the hands. There's a different kind of utilization of the hand fight.
Well, he's using everything. He's coming in behind the head, Bakojevic, switch hitting, doing all kinds of things to throw Ribeiro off. Ribeiro just trying to settle in, but look at Bakojevic. He's got this all under control if he can close the distance. Comes in slugging, big hands, heavy hands, looking to do damage.
Ribeiro looks a little bit uncomfortable in here.
Starting to get the skills and plays the matador against the bull. And Bakojevic, you never know what's going through his mind. Look at him, just so unpredictable. Little half steps, the shuffles, and closes the distance, comes in with his head down, doesn't use the head, but he uses it to advantage. And Ribeiro, well, treating this with extreme caution. It's like trying to wrestle a bear in line at McDonald's.
And you can see how Ribeiro is just thinking, I wish I could kick here. You can see his stance, he's kind of played it a little bit. Even the way he's moving forward. Bakojevic is just dancing all over the place, where Ribeiro is much more of like a prototypical Muay Thai stance.
Yeah, the lack of legs. Look at him, he's doing all kinds of trickery in there. He's so slippery, Bakojevic. Everything that you can think of, he is throwing in there. He just is so tricksy. And you got to love him. He's a showman, and he does put on a show. We're out of the first. And yeah, now Ribeiro's had a chance to settle down and settle in. Let's see what's in store. But Bakojevic, you just got to love this man. I've known him for years. I knew him when he fought early doors at WFC in Slovenia. And he was just as wild, just as unpredictable then.
Taking a look at it, just the closure of the distance and the hooks. Any of the straight punch advantages that we would have seen from Ribeiro was completely taken away. And Bakojevic, again on the angle there, it's a totally different art. The way he dips his head, goes low, goes high. Ribeiro just was completely confused. And again, like, if you haven't felt that, if you haven't trained enough of that, and even moved from training camps into competition, that's an advantage for Bakojevic here.
And you got to remember, this is bare knuckle. There's nothing between you and bone. When he's got Bakojevic throwing those shots, that's a knuckle that's going in. So we go to 2. Scheduled for 5 2-minutes. Let's see how round 2 plays out. You need to execute a quality defense against Bukocevic. He's got great power. He spreads his weight, big stance, and he makes out he breaks. But you got to watch him because there's always a take that with you when you go. And covers up. Look at him slip. Great footwork, and he loves it. You know, you've got to smile because he just loves the game. And look at him. It's like he's schooling Ribeiro, but he's not doing anything. It's all show. There's lots of flash here, lots of glitz. It's a real bling affair here tonight. But make no mistake, he's legit. Bukocevic comes in close. Look at him pull his opponent in. I mean, he uses a little bit of grappling there to get in there and throw Ribeiro. Ribeiro doesn't know what's going on. He is like a cat that's been put in the central reserve of the motorway. He doesn't know whether to go left or right, and there's traffic screaming past.
It's actually nice to see him now settle in and throw a 1-2. He just landed the first nice jab cross, really, of the fight for me. Bukocevic is, I think, laying so much confusion, and a lot of the flim-flam that we're seeing here is throwing Ribeiro off. Nice cross there, but again, Bukocevic, he takes one and gives 4 or 5.
Yeah, he landed there quite heavily. It's Joker's wild with Bukocevic, but there's damage on the left eye of Bukocevic. And look at him, he says, "Are you all right?" And then he laughs at him. Look, this is the showmanship. This is what the crowd come for. They love it. And look at him. This is just unbelievable. It is Joker's wild. Great entertainment and legit skills. And I mean, he's light on his feet because he's thick set, isn't he?
It's unbelievable to see just how one connection changed the whole course of the fight there. Bukocevic backing off. Ribeiro's got to pull the trigger, though. Again, it's going to be a losing round here if he doesn't get behind a solid jab, land the cross. He's at no point, especially from the southpaw position, been able to command distance like we thought he needed to. Again, I've got this 2 rounds to Bukocevic.
Well, it's incredible. At FNC 17, we've had so many first-round finishes, we've almost given up counting scores, you know, because we're never out of the first to make it worthwhile. So I'm glad to see you're keeping tabs on it, Guru. Listen, Bukocevic just dances his way in, and, you know, he's like a real Trojan. It's just unbelievable. Goes in, feints his way in, disguises what he's up to, and then look at that, manages to land shots. If that uppercut had landed, he'd have floored his opponent Ribeiro here tonight. But, well, we're out of 2 now. We're into 3. What's your prediction, Chris?
Well, I think it's interesting we finally hit the 3rd round. I still don't feel like this one's going to go the distance because Bukocevic is doing a really nice job of moving his head off the center line, off the line of attack, if you will, and avoiding incoming punches and then throwing his own. He landed one really good connection there that last round. Maybe 2 or 3 more of those and we could see an ending here.
Runs to the center, runs back. Look at him, so low. Look at this. You know, he uses that height disadvantage to huge advantage. Switch hits coming in. I mean, he's bamboozling Ribeiro here. And Ribeiro can't take a chance because, you know, what you might do with gloves on, what you might do if you're able to kick, you can't do here. You're reliant solely on your hands. And he's loving this. This is a fun day out for Bukocevic. And so is the crowd. So we're at 3. No guard, just dancing around the ring. Flies in, shoots from the hip. And he's kind of like a one-man Bermuda Triangle, isn't he? He's just so dangerous everywhere around him. And you just don't know what to make of any of it. I mean, all this finger pointing. Look at it, the touch of the leg there, throwing everyone off, the Philly guard, and the ducking of the head down, going right below the reach of Ribeiro. Big cut on the cheekbone of Ribeiro, and there's a lot of apologetic gestures from Ribeiro, but none from Bukocevic.
Bukocevic has just got to continue to go to the body and then go upstairs and move his head, load up on power. I like how he's pulling some of his punches as well. We saw actually a couple of times he's pulled the left, and it's smart because he obviously was caught actually maybe about a minute ago by a short right hand from Ribeiro. So he's definitely not completely out of the woods yet. Ribeiro is a seasoned guy, right? He's not going to literally just bow out and go out in a shield like this.
Absolutely, but Ribeiro now starting to stutter with the punches, not committing to them because he doesn't quite know how Bukocevic will react, whether he'll block, whether he'll duck under, whether he'll step out, or whether he'll use that. You see, look how nervous Ribeiro is, just leaps back, but not because Bukocevic has done anything, it's because Bukocevic has threatened. And that's the state of mind that Bukocevic puts you in. He really does play the head game with you. Now he looks like he's bored, doesn't he? It's like an orca with a seal.
And again, this is the game, right? You want to kind of, well, A, hit and not be hit, but more importantly, make your opponent have some doubt, right? You want them to have a little bit of uncertainty about where you're going to be, where the headspace is, and so on, when to time, potentially their advantages, because Ribeiro has some natural advantages in this fight, which haven't played out really in the slightest, besides maybe on 1 or 2 punches he's landed.
Bukocevic, 70 MMA fights alone. He's been around a long time, and he's a tough stuff. And he's lost dramatically too in MMA bouts. You know, it's not all been plain sailing for Bukocevic, but you know, he comes to each bout with no lack of enthusiasm, and he's a natural joker. And a couple of years ago, in fact, during COVID and lockdown, we shared a minibus back to the airport with Bukocevic, and we said to him, you know, what are you doing for your training? And he said, I'll show you what we're doing. Stop at the next Mackie D's. And he filled his face with whatever he could. He's he's great, you know. And so here he is getting stuck in now. He's got bored. He wants to finish this. You can tell he's going to go in there now and have a slugfest. And, you know, he's saying, sorry about the cut to the eye, but that's all the psychological game. And Ribeiro saying, come on, bring it on. Bring it on. Look at him. Just, you got to love him, man. I mean, you know, he's like, I don't know what the term is, in a bullfight when they send out, is it the picadors to upset and wind up the bull? He is just out there. And look at that, slips a punch in overhand. Referee says break. Right, we're in round 4 of 5. We didn't think it would go the distance, but it has so far. Let's see if Bukocevic can finish, or a surprise rabbit out of the hat from Ribeiro.
It's interesting as well because this is a bit of an anomaly. We saw his last fight go the distance, but usually it's first rounders. Like 14 of the last 7 fights have been one-rounders for Bukocevic.
Now look at him go. He's up the pace and he's knocked down Ribeiro, but tumbles over himself. There's a count. Came in, body punches, came upstairs, and he managed to force a standing count for Ribeiro. Tumbled himself. Ribeiro went to one knee. Ribeiro wants to get back to the action, and the referee's calling the doctor. A lot of damage on that right eye, and this is the danger of the bare knuckle game. And they're cleaning him up, they're having a look. So I don't know whether the doctor's going to have a look to see whether it will be allowed to continue or whether it's just a clean-up job. Nasty gash.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, 1 or 2 good punches could completely change the course of this fight. He obviously had one really solid connection in the second round, which opened up the first cut. And here, finally in the fourth, we've seen a really significant couple of blows land, and that's what's at stake in this game.
So, the referee's happy. Mr. Zoric checked rightfully, had that eye looked at, clock on. So I think Bukocevic, as I say, realises now that the showboating is over. I mean, just look at what he's doing here. This is just unheard of, and he ducks under that uppercut. Why would Ribeiro throw an uppercut to a man that's kneeling down? Throws punches, and Ribeiro down on one knee. There's the second count. And Ribeiro hasn't got an answer. It's almost as if it's a psychological towel into the ring, isn't it?
It's crazy to see Bukocevic being able to find his way in with those uppercuts. He's landed, obviously, I think twice in this round very cleanly, and once they're converting the knockdown off that right uppercut. Again, the natural advantages for Ribeiro that you would look at, he has not been able to implement apart from maybe 10 or 15 seconds.
He's just chasing a will-o'-the-wisp. I have to say, all props to Vaso Bukocevic. He's developed a technique that just works so well for a smaller fighter. When he gets in on the inside, look at him work the body, looking to hit those ribs, the bone. That uppercut was thunderous. He got 2 in there and he drops his man. Look at that right hand. Bone-crushing punches there. Absolutely phenomenal. He goes to work when the opportunity presents, and he's just performed brilliantly here. That's what he's here to do. He's here to win, and he's done what he needs to do, using everything You know, it's almost as if he's opened up the cupboard, the kitchen cupboard, and said, let's bake a cake. Curry powder? Why not?
Extra sugar,
Why not?
a little bit more flour,
Why not?
and the sprinkles.
Yeah. Throw it all up in the air, put it in the oven, take it out, put it in, take it out. Yeah, we put it in, close the door, turn up the heat. Here we go. 5th and final round. What an absolute home bake this has been. So, the first time we've gone the full 5 or the full distance on any bout here tonight at FNC 17. Meridian Bet epic clash. And Vaso Bukocevic has schooled his opponent, Alexandro Ribiera, in the art of bare knuckle boxing.
And it has been an absolute masterclass as far as him being able to kind of go in there and turn the screw. We've seen him up the ante a little bit there in the 4th round. He's obviously made Ribeiro feel very uncomfortable, and never really being able to settle into the fight is a disadvantage in BKB for sure, especially.
You know, and you can see a different skill sets required for bare knuckle boxing. You'd think that a boxer would be able to go in and do this. No, 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 no. You can take a jab from a boxer. Taking a jab from a bare knuckle boxer, well, that's going to stop you in its tracks in and of itself. So it's a different game, a different set of rules and skill sets that Bukocevic has applied here tonight. Look at those flying attacks. He points the finger and he says, watch out, look at him come for the kill. There's the right hand, he knows he can finish it now. Oh, and this time Bukocevic gets caught. Bukocevic caught by Ribeiro. What a reversal. That was a mistake. Is he acting? Is he showboating, Bukocevic? He's all over the place. He's been caught. This is a real turn up for the books. He's been hurt. It's not a game. He's not showboating. He's being counted.
This might be the beginning of the end here, Will. He was hurt very, very badly. The referee was looking and may step in again.
It's all over. He takes the count. On his knees, Bukocevic. What's gone on here? This is incredible. What a turn up for the books. It was all for Bukocevic. There's the bell. He survived. Wow.
That'll be 110-7 round. Incredible.
Well, you know, it's for me, Ribeiro was looking for that one punch, and it didn't serve him. He had 5 rounds to do it. Scoring-wise, that's insane.
That is insane for sure. Bukocevic should still have it. I mean, he had knockdowns obviously in previous rounds, and he obviously had 10-9 rounds. This was absolutely nuts. Taking a look at how everything put itself together here. Bukocevic on the chase, slips.
Well, it didn't look like it was all that damaging. It looked like Bukocevic was causing the trouble here. Catching Ribeiro. Oh, that was it. The right hand uppercut. Inside. And Bukocevic ate that. Oh, he ate that like a hot dog. Wow. And then from then on in, it was raining pain.
And the heavy, heavy, dirty boxing, I think, from Ribeiro, just completely overwhelming Bukocevic for 2 counts in a row. The ref stepping in, I think the ref was really, really, really gracious in allowing him to continue, because Bukocevic, yeah, he gave him the thumbs up, but you could see, you know, when you sort of give them the chance to walk forward and present themselves and you sort of audit the situation as a referee, you're thinking very, very carefully about letting him continue at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we knew it was always going to be exciting, and Ribeiro found himself. So did Bukocevic, and for all the trash talk and all of the showmanship before and during the fight, Bukocevic is actually a real gentleman. You got to love him. He's a showman, and that's your ticket money right there, and he's a smiler.
And again, fight of the night. We had it previously on FNC when we had BKB. It was fight of the night. Tonight, so far for me, fight of the night. Both guys getting knockdowns. And what seemed to be a little bit of a landslide for Bukocevic ended up being a bit of a surprise from Ribeiro.
Absolutely. We've had 2 of those tonight, Vukosaljevic and Stoljakovic. That was just insane. But look, in 1 round, they won and lost the fight equally. Let's see how the judges scored it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of those 5 exciting rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. This contest has been scored 47-44, 47-44, and 46-45. A unanimous decision win in favor of Vaso Psycho.
Well, a unanimous decision win. He's done enough. The crowd just love this. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Pehar pobjedniku dao je jedan od čelnika FNC-a, gospodin Narcis Mujkić. Vaske, čestitam od srca i dalje neporažen u bare knuckle 5-0, ali krenut ćemo od kraja. Koliko je ovo bilo blizu?
Pa nešto ne mogu baš ni sjetiti.
Legenda si. Pogodio te na kraju dobro, aperkatom, lego si, uspio si se dići nekako drugo brojanje, mislim da nije bilo do tad si kontrolirao odlično meč. Vrlo pametno, taktički, tehnički dobro, ali jebi ga. To je bare knuckle boxing, jel tako?
Alo, kaki kurac MMA, samo bare knuckle, baki. 5-0, ako niste znali.
Znali smo 5-0, najavili smo već, pošto je sljedeće vjerojatno Filip Pejić, što možemo očekivati od tog meča u Puli?
Nažalost, radit ćemo MMA, ja i Pejić. Ništa, odmorit ću sad malo i kreće kamp, to je to. Mora opet da se rva, mora se radi džica, mora se koriste rukavice. Gej! Ali dobro.
Vaso, velik dio dvorane ovdje je došao zbog tebe. Kako se osjećaš zbog toga i što možeš reći, ovo ti je najveća publika u karijeri?
Definitivno, želim da se zahvalim svima. Nadam se da ste uživali. Ja sam tu ne samo da pobjedim, već i vas da zabavim. Dajem sve od sebe. Nemoj da me hejtujete. Tako da, hvala. Vidimo se uskoro opet.
Dame i gospodo, psihopata Vaso Kočević!